Happy Friday and welcome back to another episode of Finchy Fridays. In today's episode I'm going to talk about how I capture the audio at the wedding speeches. And I'm still in the middle of my Christmas photo shoots. That's why I've got the Christmas backdrop up, in case you're wondering. Now let's roll the intro. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I release a video every Friday or every other Friday with topics related to my wedding videography slash digital media slash video production company. And it's sort of documenting what I do, and I sort of release a video about a topic that I might think of whilst I'm doing that part of the business. One of the most important parts of the wedding day that the audio needs to be recorded is the wedding speeches, and the other is the ceremony. So I did a video a few weeks ago on how I record the audio for the wedding ceremony, so you can go check that one out. This video is very similar, but there are some extra ways that I record the audio. First of all, I put a lapel mic on every person who's scheduled to do a speech. Now, I find this information out at my pre-meeting, sort of a few weeks before their wedding date. But I always double check on the day as well that they're scheduled for 3 or 4 people to do the actual speeches. Now, I used to put a Zoom F1 on at least the groom, and I've got 2 of these, and I sometimes used to do the father of the bride as well. But sort of my go-to is the Sony TX650s, as these are just a lot quicker and easier to quickly mic up all the people doing the speeches, and I've got 6 of these as well. Here are some examples of the Zoom F1 on the groom and a Sony TX650.
Seems like an awfully long time since we sat outside Gloucester Cathedral and you thought I was acting really weird. Where of course I was really just trying to summon up the courage to get down on one knee. Thank you for saying yes.
Let me explain how it's going to work. The speech will be approximately 2 hours long. I expect you to take notes. It will be mostly interactive, making good use of the shared whiteboard.
So I just find it easier to put the Sony TX650s on whoever's doing the speech rather than get my sticky out and micing them up with the cable and everything like that with the Sony F1. I know the quality is not as good, but it's definitely usable. If the venue are using a microphone, I will either try and plug my Zoom H5 or my Zoom H1 into their sound system itself as a backup, as well as the lapel mics. Check out my video from a few years ago where I talk about how I connect my Zoom H5 into a sort of standard soundboard. So it's always handy to have loads of audio cables. All my equipment that I use for weddings and just general video production is on my website nickfinch.co.uk, so go check that one out. Sometimes their systems are very complicated and unfortunately I can't plug directly into the soundboard, but sometimes I even plug directly into their speaker with a H1, and I've got some examples of that.
Seems like an awfully long time since we sat outside Gloucester Cathedral and you thought I was acting really weird. Where of course I was really just trying to summon up the courage to get down on one knee. Thank you for saying yes.
I didn't actually use this in the final video as I had the lapel mic on the groom, but it was a good handy backup to have, as backups are key when recording any sort of audio on the wedding day. So whichever one I've gone for, such as into the soundboard or into the speaker itself, I will try and put the other one on the top table, sort of in front of the groom, as a backup. And if none of them have been used in the sound system, I'll put them on the top table, sort of in front of the maybe father of the bride and the groom as well, just as the backup there. Some people strap the Sony TX650 around the microphone. You can either use a bit of tape or some people have sleeves. I personally don't do that. I find that some people don't like speaking into the microphone, so they might start off holding the microphone and then all of a sudden say, I'm loud enough, I don't need this, and put it down. So if you've only got this strapped around the microphone, it's going to be rubbish audio there. Or that leads me on to sometimes if I have plugs directly into the soundboard and they put the microphone down again, that I can't use that audio. So obviously I've got these lapel mics still on the actual person doing the speech. Sometimes they might be speaking into the microphone, but it's not working properly, and they swap it out with another microphone. And if you've got one of these strapped around that microphone and it's gone off to some other part of the venue, so again, if that's the only way of recording audio, you'll be a bit stuck there. As I've got 6 of these, so a standard wedding, you've got about 3 people doing a reading, doing a speech. The other day I did have 5, but whatever of these I have left over, I also put these sort of on the top table, or even if they are speaking to the microphone as well, I'll put one of these near the speaker itself, just as a backup. Then last of all, with my microphones, I have my on-camera microphones. So I use this little one. Again, my microphones that I use are on my website, nickfinch.co.uk. So this goes on my B cam. Great little microphone, especially if you like vlogging and stuff. And my B cam is usually quite close to the top table actually. I get I'm on a 16-35 lens, so I get a nice sort of wide shot of the top table relatively close. And then the other microphone that I use is what I'm using now, which is the Rode, I think it's the NTG4 Plus, and that's on my A cam that I'm filming on again now. But I'm usually quite far away. I sort of shoot on a 24-70 on the Canon C200, so there's a little crop factor in there as well. So if I'm sort of further back, if I had to use that audio, that would be my my last hope of any decent audio, but it'd be very unlikely. But like I say, it's a backup of a backup, that one. So just to quickly summarise it all, I will put a lapel mic, which I use the Sony TX650, on every person who's doing a speech. I will try and plug one of my other audio recorders, such as the Zoom H5 or the H1, directly into the sound system. And then whatever audio recorder I have left, I will scatter around the top table, leaving it in front of a person who I know who's doing the reading as a backup. And then I've also got my backup microphones on my camera. Like I said earlier, all my kit that I use is on my website, nickfinch.co.uk, so go check that one out. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I release a video every Friday or every other Friday on topics related to video production, wedding videography, digital media, all the stuff that I do for my business, marketing, SEO, social media, all that stuff. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.